Have you been experiencing test after test after test and wondering why you're still stuck, or if you're in that cocoon going within and not sure how to move forward in your journey, and especially wondering if the universe still has your back? If so, stay tuned, because I'm going to share with you 3 ways that can help you reconnect to your intuition and trust the process. Hello, fellow flames. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Make sure to hit subscribe and that notification bell so that you know when all of my content videos come live. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 3 ways that can help you learn to trust this process. Many people, myself included, has been put to the test of surrender and really helping us go within to feel out, are we stuck? Are we in a cocoon? Is this our plan or is it the divine plan? So today I want to talk to you about this because I think it's time we do a inventory of our trust meter, and to realize that everything is working out for us and we're exactly where we need to be, and that the universe has our back. And this can be in relationship to your twin flame journey, your purpose, your mission. At this stage of the game, it's about ascension burnout, the process of just being tired of put to the test after test after test. And many people trying to discern whether they can trust this process. And again, that's why I'm going to share with you 3 ways that can help you basically get back into alignment with your intuition, back into reconnecting to your own truth. And so make sure that if you are going through this, that you leave me a comment so I know, what you're going through. And I made a personal post about this just a couple days ago. I bought some really beautiful peonies, and they weren't fully open, and they smell so good. And I got them because they were white and then this really pale pink. And I made this post that, life is like this flower that we're technically it is a divine order. It is unfolding as it should, but we really have to get out of the way and allow that perfection and that beauty and that grace of that process to unfold. And this is where we are collectively. And we've been, of course, going through it many times. And the other thing in that I want to say, because I'm seeing this a lot lately, that people feel like they've done enough of their work, and this is myself included, okay? Done enough work that we should be at a place of not having to revisit things or go back through work that you've already done. And trust me when I tell you, whenever I've went through this healing process of COVID, it's been a real test of trust of myself, the journey, my intuition, more than anything that I've done thus far. So let's get started. So the first thing here that we need to basically revisit is really taking inventory of our intuition and really going back into trusting that intuition. And one of the things as far as why we're out of alignment with the trust is because the outcomes aren't matching the vibration or things we've been shown or things that have shown up. And so the first thing we need to do really is be asking and remembering to ask, because there's times where I do ask, most always, but there are times I get in situations and I'm realize, I didn't ask for guidance on this. I didn't ask my intuition. I didn't, connect to that. So we need to be asking our questions with intention. And in that intention, what is so important is that your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your intention are crystal clear on what it is you're trying to create, basically. Because the more clear you can get on that, the more focus you can like align with and hone into that. And that's going to help you then create your desires with greater precision, and it's going to increase in the speed of your results. So really just be as an example here, if you're going through an obstacle or a situation, ask, what is this teaching me? Why am I revisiting this? And the way I handle that is if I get an answer and I understand it and like that level of it, but it can open up the pathway to 10 other questions or 10 other routes. So I just keep going down the path. Okay, well, you know, if like this is happening because it is something that I'm to teach people and I'm to have content for, and I'm an Ascension teacher, so I have to experience it firsthand. And I get that. But why am I still revisiting these patterns when I already know that? And like just keep going deeper and deeper into your questions. And then what you have to do is really listen. You have to be open to hearing. And a lot of times we want to know now. We want to be the doer. We want to like not wait. And, you know, we need to practice the patience. So when you ask, what's really important then is to remind yourself to listen. And the way that you can do that is make sure to reconnect with your own truth. And so when you start to get some of these maybe answers and you're not clear, revisit the idea, is this coming from my truth, or is this coming from the conditions and the beliefs of my patterns that I've been taught as in my childhood or in my experiences? Because at this stage of the game, we went through enough experiences and we've transcended enough that you got to realize that in the darkness is where you find your light. And if you're continuing to go into more light, you're going to experience more darkness. And the thing also to remember, because some people think I've completed it, and there's times I felt that way too, but we will not finish and complete this journey until we basically our job here on earth is finished. This is going to be a continued cycle. So if you're waiting to get to some destination, that's not going to happen. So you need to to pull this back in, then is listening to your truth, your intuition, and then realign with the intentions that you have out of that. So you can get crystal clear on what it is your desires are. But then you also have to recalibrate your vibration to match the frequency of that which your intention is. So you have to become what it is you want before you get what you want, basically. And the third thing then is we have to allow that now. So we might ask and we might listen and we might have let down some walls of protection that's blocking us from receiving. But that doesn't mean we're open to the receiving. It doesn't mean that we are allowing it to come in. Now we need to pay attention. You know, maybe going back to the ask, if you're not clear, ask for direction, ask for a sign. All right. Now, one of the things I will tell you is I personally have been tested. And if you've been tested in this, please let me know. I was following too many signs and following too many signs leading in directions that were like dead ends or a goose chase or a maze, or, you know, feeling stuck and trapped in some direction. And that was moving outside of that intuition, outside of self, and not harnessing that power back within to connect to your own intuition and your own guidance within. That's your own inner GPS system. So the second way to get back into alignment with your trust and your truth is to get out of your own way. And to do that, one of the biggest key things that's so important is surrender, is letting go of the control of situations, outcomes. Stop trying to make something happen. Like say, for instance, say with your twin flame journey, what people get really confused on is they began to read and study the history of twin flames are supposed to be together. And that has been true in the history. But in this time and space, there's a lot of factors that play into that, whether it is to be in alignment with your twin or not. And a lot of times people come and they want that confirmation of, is this my twin? And what it will tell you is that only you can answer that in this time and space and reality, because all timelines have collapsed, and we're in a place that we are all asking as one of our primary virtues and lessons is to trust this process and practice the patience of it. And therefore we're not even to know, because if you were to know if this was truly your twin or not, then you haven't followed the pathway of trusting the process into yourself. And until you do that, you're not fully coming into alignment with like all of your own truth and trust here. So really stop focusing on that outcome and try to focus on the highest good of all. That means if there's a karmic partner involved, know that that karmic partner is supposed to be there, and that is your twin flame's lessons, and you get out of the way of that and focus on yourself, and to know that you have enough within yourself to think about, enough within yourself to like work on. And that technically when you focus on what you don't have here, meaning the love of the twin flame journey or the twin flame, you're the one creating separation from yourself, and then you create all these illusions and all these thoughts and all these feelings that are coming from pain and rejection. And all of those illusions and those thoughts and those judgments that you place on somebody else for not fulfilling a role that you technically think you need, that can only come from within and your own power, then your judgment is a sense of betraying yourself. Because what it is you see in your twin flame or anyone that's your mirror, or what you see in them, or what you see you don't have in that contrast, basically, is a representation of either it is something that you have, like say in the contrast of it, you need to learn it, or you need to learn the opposite of it, meaning like give you one I recently talked about was being able to learn how to listen versus express. And in a dynamic I had been the most open ever, and I came out very expressive, and he had this space for holding space for listening. But my expression triggered within him in his own shadow of suppression. So then he needed to suppress, and it was automatically happening. But he wasn't aware enough or awake enough to like come at it from a place of love versus triggers and wounds, and therefore he didn't feel hurt, but couldn't express he didn't feel hurt until it was already too late, and that buildup had became anger. So I encourage you to realize that, you know, that's either coming to you to see in that reflection. You need to either, for instance, my case, then I needed to express that I was learning, but then he also showed me back I needed to now learn how to hold space also and listen. So in that, then if things are repeating themselves, I always say it's not that it's necessarily at this stage of the game, meaning you're going backwards. It's more that you're testing the new way to handle it. And something I've been seeing lately is a lot of revisits coming back full circle and being like, well, why did I just go around the block to end back up exactly where I started in the first place? And my answer was to see so you can see how far you came. And that now that you're experiencing the same thing, you're not repeating anything, or there's really no lesson. It's really just to show you how far you've came in this process. So the second part about getting out of your own way is practicing patience. And that is what I always call the timing, trust, and tolerance. So remembering that there is a divine plan, and that you're exactly where you need to be, and that these reroutes that you might be having, or these obstacles or revisiting things, they're only like reoccurring to help you discover more of who you are. And that means you can't make a wrong decision, and therefore let go of the sabotage and the analytical processing of thinking that you're doing something right or wrong, because you can't screw it up. And that's where the second part of this practicing this patience is coming in from a place of not just the timing of it now, but the trusting the process of that. And to know that, you know, you are being shown exactly what it is that you need to improve on, or what it is you need to work on if you're willing to see yourself in that mirror. Now knowing that in that process, because we're tangible people, we want to see tangible results, right? But until we can see it show up, we can't let go. And until we let go, we can't see it show up. So it becomes a layering process of allowing ourselves to slowly go through these layers of letting go of control and the environment and controlling these situations that are occurring. Which in the process of that is teaching us a combination of like tolerance versus boundaries. Where do we need to be more empathetic? Where do we need to be more compassionate and be more tolerant of people? And when you can be more open and allow yourself to receive, basically, and allow yourself not to judge what the situation is that's happening here, but in the flip side of that, know when you need to set a boundary and when you don't. It can be very confusing because these spaces we're talking about here, these dotting I's and crossing T's that I'm referring to, is a fine line. And how do you discern between these sides that really there is no right or wrong? It's going from one side to the other, which is what I call the balance between your surrender and your ability to let go, and that resistance. And the more you focus on what you don't have, and the more you focus on that outcome, and the more you resist it, the more you're creating of what you don't want. So it's going to be so important when you come to the decision making of, do I set a boundary, or am I to be more empathetic, tolerant of the situation and stay open because I'm supposed to receive? The key is you might need to be open with some people, and some people you might need to set boundaries with. And same with situations. Open to some situations, set boundaries in others. But the key is be yourself in every action that you take, because that's going to be what counts and matters, that you show up in your own power and connected to more of who you are and your truth and your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and respect for you and how you show up for you, that teaches other people to do the same for you. So the third way for you to get reconnected and realigned with your trust and really come into the knowing that the universe has your back is to come into this place of discernment between a web and a cocoon. And I've been feeling this a lot lately. This is something that came to me through a big process in my own healing and my own spiritual advisor, and a combination of, am I stuck or am I going within? Why am I having to go within again? Okay, asking myself these questions that I talked about the ask, listen, allow. And as always, what I'm sharing with you are things I'm going through or have went through, and even again recently, and with, seeing with clients. So remembering that when you're stuck, these obstacles are really only illusions. So those cobwebs are illusions, and they're really only just a distraction, and they may not even be your cobwebs. You might need to clean out the cobwebs of like the programming from your parents and the processing that you've done in the past that no longer works for you, because now we're moving to the next level of who we are. And as we do that, our only goal here in this process of our discernment of being stuck or in this cocoon going within is we just need to transform that energy. We need to transcend the lower vibration, and we need to climb and maintain. I heard Tyler Perry say this in some information I was watching over the weekend, and he's like, if you don't get nothing else out of this, just climb and maintain, climb and maintain. That's what this whole ascension process is. Climb and maintain. We're going up that tree of ascension. We're going around it, lighting it up, like I'm always talking about, to become that North Star at the top of the tree. Each time that cycle gets shorter, each time we have a higher perspective, and each time we learn to surrender and let go more and more and more. So really, if you're looking at the situation you're in right now and you're feeling stuck, go through the questions of, am I really stuck? Or is this really taking you within to learn more, find more, connect to more of myself? And so I'm going to give you an example of my advisor had me do an exercise I'll share with you at some point, because we kind of like, she came up with it based on what I was going through, but it was so amazing bringing this whole cobweb. She had me take and make a cobweb basically out of the pie of life of all of those areas of your life. And because I kept saying, I can't tell if I'm stuck in this cobweb that was linked to my parents, and there was a whole thing about how the cobwebs came through. I even had a dream that my dad had cobwebs all around his head, and I was going to get up and get a broom and like swat all these cobwebs down around him. And I sat there in the dream going, no, those aren't my webs. I don't have to do anything. I can sit here and I can like not judge this, and I don't have to own it. And so technically what I kept feeling is the way out of all of this is for me to become my best version of me and show up who I am without any limitations, and transcending these things, transforming this energy. And I might go within to do that. But if I allow those webs to show up and to feel stuck in it, that's only an illusion. And so one of the pies of this web was about relationships. And I said, well, like, she's like, okay, in this section, where do you feel like you're stuck in the web, and where do you feel like you're in the cocoon? And I said, well, I feel like I'm stuck in the web because every time I go through a new ascension teacher that's, deeper and more impactful, more intense, more open than I am, more of who I am, more of a higher version of all of this, it turns out that very quickly I see it magnetized to come in to just become, as always, this deep connection that the universe pulls it together, and then the universe turns it into a divine disaster. And I watch these disasters, I call them divine disasters, because the universe takes over, puts me in a position to like be the reflection for the other person, and I see it, and I don't know what's happening or what's happening until I can map it out. And then once I see it, then I'm like, okay, the universe just blew that apart and saw it totally go into completion, done, end of cycle, next, climb and maintain, right? And so I said, but it's a repeated pattern. And so somewhere in that, where is this pattern, or why is it continuing? And so then I said to her, I said that, another area of my life that feels stuck within this is I don't feel like I'm able to have fun, because in a relationship, all I want to do is enter into something that says, all I want to do is really have fun here today, or go on a date and have fun. Like, let's step out of this, like, this whole web, this whole maze, this whole journey, and let me out and have fun for a minute. And I told her, I said, it's like I can never have fun, even though I go into it, because these divine disasters show up and just shred this thing apart. And very quickly too. And then I said to her, I said, oh, I'm in the cocoon with that, on that side of it, because you can't have something with someone until you've experienced it yourself. And I realized I'm down to this place of fun that I keep talking about. But yet in my daily life, I feel like I'm missing joy and fun because of some of the things I've been through. And so then I realized when I told her, I said, okay, I need to go out and have some fun. And, I've actually had a few people tell me that, a few of my ascension teachers. So, if a couple of you listen to this, you might know I'm talking about you. But anyway, you cannot experience if you haven't, done it within yourself. You can't have it with somebody else. So that also means then if you want divine love and you want this twin flame love and you want this twin flame relationship, You might have to let go of the outcome of who the vision, but you can have it. I promise you, it only gets stronger once you surrender and let go and allow yourself to get in the vibration of yourself. But you don't have to search for love because you are love. And I don't have to search for fun because I can learn how to have fun. So I'm not waiting to have fun with someone then. I need to have fun in my daily life. So I actually, since this has just been a few days ago, I woke up and the only person I could speak to was Champ. And I'm like, Champ, we're going to have fun today. And so, start in the morning, like as I actually do with him a lot, it's going to be a mommy and Bubby day. And we have 3 bone monies to make today, meaning we have 3 sessions, something like that. And just, learning how to connect back to the simplicity of a sense of reality that's not technically so freaking serious, right? Like, let's have some fun. Who else is in this for fun, right? Tell me if you're in it for fun. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share today and just let you know where I'm at, what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing, and what I was guided to share with you. So if this has helped you, please let me know. And I wish you all so much love and blessings. And thank you again all for your support. I'm still navigating through this COVID recovery, and lots to come about that for even like my journey to share on regimens and protocols and things I'm doing, including how to use that for Ascension burnout. And I wish you so much love. So may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.